my name is Anna, and I'm going to be walking us through a project called Bricks and Prints. We're going to be using Legos and paint. We're going to make patterns, and then we're going to use that as a stamp to do some printmaking to create our art pieces. You should already have your take and make bag that looks like this. You should have picked it up at the youth desk at the library when you signed up. The next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to go over everything that comes in the take and make bag. This is all the contents that you will find in your take and make bag. You have a sheet of paper with 6 grids on them. You have a paint roller. You have a bag with Legos, 2 paint colors, 2 Lego base plates, 2 paper plates, a bag with 6 small pieces of paper, and 2 wooden wedge pieces. You're also going to need a couple things from home. You're going to need something to write with, and you're going to need some paper towel. You're also going to need some water eventually, because paint is going to get on these Lego pieces, and if you want to reuse them, you'll have to wash them. Now that we've gone over the contents of the bag, we're going to move on and talk about the step-by-step process. The first thing we're going to do is plan out our designs. These grids here match the base plates that we're using to create our Lego designs. This is where you can get your writing utensil, and we can start to plan things out here before we place our pieces onto our base plates. You can also pick up the pieces and start to arrange them how you want, like this. We have a few different types of pieces that we're working with. We have these triangular wedge pieces. We have circle pieces. And we also have these rounded pieces. So I'm going to start planning out my design. I think that I want to have a frame around mine. So I'm going to put wedge pieces in each of my corners, just like this. And then I want to start filling it in with circles. And I'm putting them right into the square where I'm going to want it on my Lego base plate. And the reason I'm doing it before I put them on is because sometimes they're kind of difficult to take off. So I can plan it out like this and move things around much easier than if I just started sticking them on. And since I know that I want circles on all of these, I think instead of picking them all up, I'm going to start drawing them so I can see what that will look like. And then I'm going to fill it in here too. Okay, so I have a frame, and I want to put something in the middle here. I think I'm going to try to make a flower. I'm going to put a circle piece in the middle here and see what I can make with these wedge pieces. If I put them together like this, I can make a half circle. And you can experiment with the pieces like this. I'm not sure if I like that, so I'm going to put it down here and see what I think. Now I'm going to try to make another petal. I like how this looks. I'm going to draw in the next one. I want a wedge piece right here and right here, 2 wedge pieces, and another one right here. And then I'm going to draw another one in this square. Going around to make a half circle here. And another one there. And now I have this open space here. I think I'm going to add some of these curved pieces. And you might notice that these are all random colors, but the color does not matter here because we're just using it to create our design. We're making a stamp. The color of the paint is the color that we will see in the end. I want another rounded piece down here. Okay, I think I'm happy with my design. So we're gonna move on to the next step. We're gonna start putting our pieces onto the base plate. And we can just move them right over to their matching spot. Sometimes they go on sort of crooked and you have to straighten them. Okay, I have my 4 corners. I'm going to fill in the rest of my frame with my circles. Since I drew some of these circles, I'm going to have to find them in my pile here where all my pieces are. And while you're doing this, you might decide that you don't like the design you made. You might change it as you go. But I like how these circles look, so I'm going to keep going with this. Okay, we're almost done with the frame. Okay, let's see what's next. I think I'm going to put these rounded pieces in. So right here, we have our open piece, an open square, but then next to it, we have our rounded piece. So I'm going to put that in. And mine's a little crooked. I'm going to use my tool to push it into the spot that I want because it's kind of hard for me to get my fingers in there. Okay, there's my other 2 round pieces. I'm going to push this one into place as well. We can use this tool to push them into place and to help us take them off. Okay, now my flower's getting a little crazy, so I'm going to straighten it up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, so this piece is 2 above my circle, right here. You can count the squares to find the right spot. So this one is 4 from the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there is the middle of my flower. I'm going to draw a circle so I remember where it was. Okay, now the second petal is complete. I still need to make this one and this one. So I need to find some more wedge pieces. This one is 3 over, 1, 2, 3, and 2 down, 1, 2. Okay, we have our third petal. And now we're on the last one. So I need 3 more wedge pieces. I want one right here. And one right here. And the last one will go right here. All right. Now that we have our design, the next thing we're going to do is get our paint ready. Now that we have our design completely ready to go, we're going to get ready to use the paint. So you'll want to lay out your paper towel and set this on top. We're going to get our paper plate out and open up our paint. This paint is Crayola washable, so we don't have to be too nervous about staining anything, but it's still good to have the paper towel down to make it as easy as possible. Okay, so we're just going to dump that on the plate. We can set this aside. This is where we're going to use our roller. Get the paint on the roller. And now we're going to put it onto the Legos. We're using the Legos like a stamp. You want to make sure that it's really on there. Since this is washable paint, you need to use a lot. It doesn't stick to it like some paints might. So put a really nice layer on there. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this aside a little bit. I'm going to grab one of my little pieces of paper. This is what the art is going to go onto. It is just the right size for this. So we're going to put it right on top of it, set it down, and then we're going to press it into the stamp. Press down, make sure it's touching all the Lego pieces. Now, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to see how it turned out. All right, this is our art piece. And you have 6 pieces of paper. You can make 6 more of these. You might decide that you want to make more than one of the design you made. You might pour the next paint color down and try that one next so that you have a purple one and a blue one. You can make a second design on this piece and start making prints with that one. Or you can take this tool, you can start to pry these pieces off. It can be difficult. Start to pry these pieces off. You can wash them and you can use them over and over again. The paint comes off very easily with water. All right, good job on your art pieces, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Bricks and Prints project. We all made art pieces using Legos. We learned how to do printmaking, which is a process used for all kinds of things, for posters and for shirts. Even the shirt I'm wearing was made with printmaking processes. We would love to see what you made. You can send photos and videos to the email that's going across your screen right now. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.